See, now this is what you want to see. And there, oh, look at that.
That's the sound you want to hear. You want to hear sizzle.
And we're going to use, I think, all indigenous ingredients today.
So what we're doing right now is Derek is plucking the grouse. That way you get to keep the skin, and there's a lot of flavor in the skin. Now for commercial products, commercial meats, a lot of times people won't keep the skin because there might be contaminants in the skin, but wild beings keep the skin. There's tons of flavor in there, so we're making sure. And you see how he's doing that. I'm going to do that too. He's making sure not to tear the skin. Here's me. I was a little rough. I tore the skin. Now I can't use these feathers. He can use those feathers in all kinds of crafts.
These birds, they're really like athletes. They're out flying every day and they don't have much fat on them. These are very lean birds. So when we keep the skin on, it's adding a little bit of fat, and it's also keeping that moisture inside the bird. Overall enhances the taste of the bird and make sure that we're keeping it nice and juicy.
You're going to have dark meat. Dark meat in a bird just means that there's blood going to the muscles. Well, a wild bird is going to have dark meat. It's not going to have white meat. The only reason why there is white meat in, say, a turkey or a chicken is because those have been domesticated, and that way they're not flying around, so you're going to have the unused muscles. There's not blood going to the muscles. In our way, if you do it in the language, the Awasiag are the wild ones, the Awakanag are the domesticated ones. The way it was done was thousands of years ago, Native people made a contract with the animals to say, if you give your gift of food, we'll make sure to provide you with clean water, clean food, clean air. We've got to make sure that we hold up our end of the bargain or they can't give their gift. So if a turkey or a chicken doesn't get clean water, clean food, clean air, they can't give that gift of clean water or clean food to us. Back in the day, you would make sure to never waste anything. So as you see right now, I'm plucking off the feathers from the head and from the neck. Some of you probably see in grocery stores that you can buy necks, and they're inexpensive, and you can use them in soups. Now, if you're serious about getting good nutrition, you can dry this out and pound it and make a powder out of it, and that would be your partridge or rough grouse soup stock. And you definitely wouldn't waste the brains, because the brains are really important food source. They're pretty much all fat. You can see where the skull is. Inside of there, it's going to be a fatty tissue that back in the day, that's going to be part of the most delicious part because it's really fatty. Believe me, back in the day, you definitely wouldn't waste any of this. See, now this is what you want to see. So now we can look to see what he's been eating. He's been eating hazelnut pollen cones. So you're going to see what the bird's eating, and that's going to tell you where to look for more partridges. So these are the male pollen cones of the hazelnut bushes. So now we know we're up right around where we're going to want to get the crop. And the crop is what we're going to use to make a medicine. So we're going to open it up. And so here's the neck. And we're going to go in. There's the breast meat right there. See how it's dark? Because the dark meat means that there was blood going to the muscles. Now we're going to go inside. I want to do it gently because I don't want to cut the crop. Now you're going to cut into the inside and start looking for where is that crop. And there, oh, look at that. All that is meat right there. Good meat. So I think we should finish plucking first, get all the feathers off, and then we'll be ready to go after the crop. That's the heart up there.
So maybe
It's way up there. Let's take some of this out. See, that's it right there, yeah. What we've done is we've taken out the internal organs from the rough grouse. For saving the crop, you're going to want to go from the neck down. But this poor guy was hungry. And when we looked into his gizzard, this is what was in his gizzard. He didn't have much in there. It's going to be little rocks and usually seeds. This guy didn't have much healthy food to eat. So what we did is we cut into the gizzard. The gizzard was looking like this. Then you cut it open, turn it inside out. Now it's going to look like that. And this was a charm for making moccasins. This is going to be the top of the moccasin. They can let it dry like this. You can see the wrinkles for the pucker toe. And then it's going to be hung like this once it's dried as a necklace. Here, I'm going to do that. Here's a little bit of sinew from a deer. And then that'll be your necklace for good luck for being a moccasin maker. It's always the creator and the birds and the plants and all the gifts that they have. It always reminds us to be humble and never think we're better than. We're all part of the fabric of life. We're not any better than any of it. Ask your family what part that your family uses as the offering. For me, we always offered the heart. So here we have this. The liver is delicious. It's not going to have pesticides, herbicides, that kind of thing, because this grouse was living deep in the woods. Then here we've got the internal organs, and the intestinal organs are fatty, and so it's going to taste a little bit like bacon because it's that fatty muscle that creates that.
Yeah, so the way we broke down this bird was we cut beneath the breastbone and we pulled it back and pulled out the entrails. So the way I'm gonna prepare this bird is I'm gonna truss it up to keep its shape and keep it cook evenly. And so we're gonna roast this up, and well, first we're gonna put it in a pan and get the skin nice and crispy. Then we're gonna put it in the oven and roast it. Then we're gonna cook it to like 150, and we're gonna use, I think, all indigenous ingredients today. So if I want to go to the kitchen, we can go do that. Then now I got the bird all plucked and cleaned. Now it's time to cook it up. So first thing I did was I patted this bird dry, so it's all dry. There's not much moisture left on this bird. Now we're gonna like twine it up. So I'd probably start with like an arm's length of twine. I'm just cutting it such. Truly like a culinary way to do this. So I'm just gonna do this my own way. I'm just gonna lay it across the legs like such. I'm gonna twist. Then I'll cross it like I'm tying my shoes. So there we go. So the reason why you want to truss the bird, or trust most of the things you do, is so it can cook evenly and also keep its shape for presentation purposes. So now we're gonna kind of come underneath, get around this like these two wings right here. And then we're just gonna tie it off right at the neck. There we go. This is generally gonna keep its shape right here. The ingredients that we're using today, they're all from Minnesota. So that's one really cool thing about this, what we're doing today. I think it's almost like a definition of food sovereignty. Not a single thing here is bought from a store. Everything was out foraged or hunted. So to season this bird, we're gonna do like a salt and pepper substitute. So here is some colt's foot that was gifted to me from Hope. Pretty much all these things were gifted from Hope. And this is a plant that is sometimes referred to as Indian salt. You can dry it out, and traditionally they take the dried out leaf, put it into form it into a ball, and then set it on fire over like a stone, and then out of those ashes, you can ship those and come to a fine powder. The reason why it's sometimes a salt substitute is it has high levels of saline, so it gives it that salty flavor. So, and it really smells and looks like ash. So then for my substitute for black pepper, we got some prickly ash berries.
So this is what they kind of look like in their original state. And they're kind of similar to like peppercorns. They have a little sharpness and numbness to it. I put these in a spice grinder, and I put it through a little fine sieve. So I separated that from like this blackberryness as all the flavor. I saved this because I'm sure I can use this for something. So I'm just holding on to this for now. We're gonna use this for black pepper. Same with this, the little goes a long way. Plus I don't have much of it, so I want to conserve it and save as much as possible for my other experiments. Then lastly, we have some sage here. This is just some culinary sage. This is what we grew out in the garden here at DIW. I just love the taste of it and the smell of it. It could really pairs well with bison. I cook my bison, season it with Mexican oregano and sage. Now that we got bird all seasoned, I got some duck fat here, and we're gonna melt this in a nice pot. You're gonna want to use something that has some high walls to it, so we can rest like the bird on the side and try to get all sides of the bird nice and cooked. So I'm probably over the range and do that. Here I got some duck fat. I'm just gonna put this in the pan. So as I mentioned earlier, these grouse, they're athletes. They don't have much fat on them at all. So we're gonna use this to help give a little more fatness to the bird and add a little more flavor. So we're just gonna wanna melt this and use like a wok style pan. And you're gonna want this on like a pretty high heat. Duck fat has, it can take heat pretty well. You can go up pretty high with this. And once this gets hot, then we'll put the bird in and get it cooked. Alright, so now we got the oil up to temperature. You can see it smoking a little bit. So we just gotta put the bird right in it. And that's the sound you wanna hear. You wanna hear it sizzle away. So we're gonna put this up on the wall so we can get the leg nice and cooked. And we'll let this sit here, let the cake get nice and golden, and we'll keep flipping it, get all the sides golden, and then we'll put it in the oven. I'm gonna get the oven preheated right now, put it around like 220, and we just wait. So we just cooked all 4 sides of the bird. If you just use like salt and pepper, it'll catch like a really nice golden color. As you can kind of see in some spots that I missed the seasoning. But right here, you can see it's just got a good crust of everything on here. So I'm just gonna take it in, put it in a baking tray like such. Just put it in the oven. So we're gonna cook this till the internal temperature hits like 150, 155, and then we'll enjoy it. Alright, so we got our grouse up to 150. Now we're gonna take it out now. Pretty looking like this. Nice and cooked all the way through. We're gonna let this rest for about 10 minutes or so, let all the juices seep back into the meat. So now we're gonna make a sauce. As we're gonna use some mountain ash berries. They're very bitter, so I'm gonna use some sumac to get the tartness out of the malic acid. These are the sumac berries. I harvested them a little bit late in the year, so you can see some of them are white, but these dark red ones, these are the ones that you want to go after, and they got tons of flavor. So I put them in my spice grinder and I grinded them up. They look more powderized, and then I also have some dehydrated sage, and we're just gonna fry this up with some duck fat. So to get started, I'm just gonna put a little bit of water in here and get it going. So we're gonna heat up this water, and then we're gonna add some maple sugar and let it dissolve in there. And then we're gonna add our ash berries, let those soften up. So here I got some maple sugar, pure maple sugar. This is really good stuff. This is one of our medicines, Zuzi Bakwood. Then we're just gonna mix this in and let this dissolve in the water. Now we're gonna add our mountain ash berries. So like I said, these are very bitter, so they're not really best to eat on their own. But we're gonna sweeten them up with this simple syrup, and then we're also gonna add some sumac to get that hardness, the acid out of there, and add it some more flavor, balance it outside. Now we're gonna let this soften up. While we got that going, I'm gonna put some more duck fat on this. Also, when this gets hot, we're gonna add our dehydrated sage leaves and fry those up. Everything's here all ready to go. So first cooked, we're gonna cut the truss. As you can see, cut the shape, cooked all the way through. So I'm trying to think about how I want to present this, whether I'm gonna do the leg, present the breast. Not much left at hand. Start off with the leg. So I'm just gonna take this leg right off. Boom, we got a leg. We got 2 legs. There we got one of our breasts. And to plate this up, we got some elderberry syrup. Just gonna lay it right here. Spread it out all 4 corners, all 4 directions. And we're gonna take our breasts, long and asphares, wiggle those around. Our dehydrated fried duck fat sage leaves. Voila. For me, when I first was getting into the food world, food sovereignty meant for me was just cooking healthy, culturally appropriate foods and doing it in a sustainable way. But as I've been growing, working more with these foods, it's gone a lot deeper than that. I've realized that it's more of creation, my spirit, my livelihood. So as I've been getting to work more with these animals and our plant relatives and hearing those original instructions, those creation stories with them, I've been able to learn a lot more about myself and where I fit into my community. That's what food sovereignty means to me.
Remember to eat our original foods. Remember to thank the Creator. Remember to exercise when you're out there. It's always reminding us we've got to move. We've got to be healthy. We have to care for each other. Remembering that it's a whole circle. And we're taking this in to honor this life that we've been given, this Minnow Bimanzi Win, the good life. You all to thrive as Native people. We've got to be strong and healthy emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and physically.